So you guys want to hear something absolutely insane? The majority of dentists suffer from the same problem when they all try to implement a new procedure. I have over 58,000 followers across Instagram and YouTube and have had hundreds of conversations with dentists who struggle to implement new procedures almost every single day. And they all suffer from the same thing. But when they made one simple change in how they approached implementation, their success skyrocketed. And I'm going to show you all of this to show you that you're capable of the same success, because this is not rocket science by any means. And so for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Avi Patel. I'm a dentist and the leading clear aligner educator on social media. I've taught over 180 dentists how to implement clear aligners in their practice through my education platform, who have then gone on to generate $9 million in revenue from aligners alone. Now, I'm going to save you the thousands of hours and all the battle scars and just tell you everything that you need to know about this one key change to unlock the ability to implement anything in your practice. And it's what I call the focus framework. It conveniently also is spelled focus. So let's walk through this. You're going to want to find clarity, organize your priorities, commit to a plan, utilize resources, and stay consistent. And so in this training, I'm going to walk you through each component of the framework so that way you can walk away from this knowing exactly what you need to do to implement whatever new procedure it is that you want to implement. But for the sake of this video, I will use examples related to clear aligners, since that's what I believe is the best use of your time as a dentist. Again, this training works for all brands. It doesn't matter who you use. As long as you use somebody, you can take this strategy and implement it. Now, between back-to-back patients and managing your practice, do you ever feel like you're just going through the motions? Dentists often suffer from a lack of focus due to unclear goals and overwhelming daily demands. I suffer from this when I was trying to implement aligners and implants at the same time. And this is where I realized I couldn't do both. I needed to pick one procedure and focus on that and nothing else. And so I ended up clearing my plate and making every decision centered around how to best implement the procedure. And I was able to do it so much faster with way more clarity because I wasn't bogged down thinking about other procedures. And this allowed me to actually use my brain to troubleshoot and move the needle on implementation. And so what you need to do is identify and prioritize specific actionable goals related to implementing the new procedure. Some simple actionable goals that you can start with aligners are going to be the following. One, you can have a set number of scans per day that you would like for yourself or your team to complete. Another goal could just be the number of times you want to mention treatment to patients. Call it 5 patients a day. And then that way you are held accountable and you can measure yourself against that goal. Do you ever leave the dental office wondering where the heck did the day go? This is from a lack of organization, and it can lead to scattered efforts and reduced focus. This was me almost every day when I tried to implement aligners in the early days because I was too all over the place and I wasn't organized at all. Now, I knew that if I did this, it was going to lead me to burnout. And so one weekend I sat down and I just took the time to write out every milestone I needed to hit to make implementation systematic and repeatable. And then I dialed out each step along the way. And then I came up with daily tasks to hold myself accountable with. And so this helped me actually get organized on a very micro daily levels. And I knew that it was just going to be very simple. 2 things that I needed to do that day. Organize your daily tasks and then align them with the steps needed to implement the new procedure. And so this is going to help ensure you get consistent progress. Let's talk about an example. So I brought up who we needed to scan that day during the morning huddle. That was task number 1. Task number 2. I had team members look up patients who had ortho coverage the day before, and then I had them mention them during the morning huddle so that way we knew which patients had the coverage. So if you're a dentist, you're probably thinking about adding a new procedure to your practice, but you are overwhelmed by the thought of squeezing it into your already packed schedule, right? So I was working with the dentist, Dr. Lee, who was eager to start offering aligners, but she felt stuck. She kept jumping between different marketing strategies and redoing the website and training methods, and she didn't have a clear direction. And she was very passionate about expanding her practice, but every week she'd get sidetracked by other tasks and other projects. And honestly, aligners just weren't a priority and they were put on the back burner. So I suggested that she commit to a 30-day action plan and just focus on one specific training around the implementation of aligners each week. By the end of the month, Dr. Lee not only felt more confident in her skills, but also saw her first few aligner patients go through with treatment. And she realized that if she just committed to a simple plan, it made all the difference. Now, for you, develop a detailed plan and then just commit to following it. And if you set milestones to hit, then you can measure your progress against it. And then you can always make sure that you're maintaining focus and coming back to the thing that matters most. All right, dentists, are you feeling like you have to figure everything out on your own? Remember, you're not alone. There are tools and people ready to help you every step of the way. Dentists often have access to resources like mentors, training materials, or staff support, but they don't always leverage them. So I once helped a fellow dentist, Dr. Smith, who was struggling to get aligners off the ground in his practice. He felt he had to figure everything out himself, trying to learn from videos and trial and errors, and it was stressing him out and it was slowing him down, as you can imagine. I suggested that he tap into the resources he already had, right? He had a network, he had friends, he had courses that he had signed up for. Once he started using those resources, his confidence skyrocketed. He realized that he didn't have to reinvent the wheel. He just needed to ask for help and then take action. So you should make use of all of the available resources that you have at hand and stay focused on mastering that new procedure. Speaking of resources, we have a bunch of free ones at our website, clearalineradvisor.co. It's everything that you need to get started with doing aligners. And so for those of you who are looking for the resources, mentorship, and support with aligners, I also have a course. It's called Aligner Blueprint. Details for it are in the description below, and I would love to support you if you want a very structured, simple way to get started with aligners. Now, have you ever felt like you're tired, you're stretched thin, but you know adding a new procedure could change everything in your practice? The key isn't doing more. It's staying consistent with what matters most. And now consistency is key to maintaining focus and ensuring successful implementation. Because if you're not consistent, you're gonna just come back from a course, you're gonna watch videos, and you're gonna go to your practice, and then it's just gonna fall off. Because of the first point of friction, you end up giving up, or a team member pushes back, or you wake up and you're not in a good mood that day, so you decide, well, I'm not gonna try any of the new strategies that I learned over the weekend, and then you're just gonna go back to doing the same old stuff. I had a moment just like that early on. I felt overwhelmed by the constant demands of practicing while trying to introduce aligners. And so I'd start strong, but then I'd quickly get pulled back into the daily grind. And that just left a little bit of time to focus on it and master it. And so what did I do? I decided to block out a specific time every week so that way I could focus solely on the things that I wanted to implement as well as reviewing the cases, no matter how busy I got. Now, it wasn't easy at first, but that consistency paid off over time, and I became more skilled and more confident, and eventually made aligners a core part of the practice. So maintaining a regular routine and continuously practicing the new procedure to build confidence and competence over time is going to help you. And if you found this remotely valuable and you want an action plan when it comes to how and when to market for this procedure, I made this video specifically for you. Go check it out. I'll see you in there.